Hello and welcome to TB3 Sports Talk, episode 67, and we are here to tell you that your Tampa Bay Buccaneers are winners of their last 4 games.
Ow, ow, ow!
We back, baby. We haven't been gone.
No, dude. What was this the best game of the Bucs season, guys? Was it?
Yeah. It might have been. There's no excuses for this. There's no excuses. People wanted to chop up the Detroit win. Oh, the Lions just played a bad game. Lions offense, Ben Johnson's worst game coordinating. Then the Eagles game. Oh, Bucs just kind of have the Eagles number right now. Well, what's the excuse for this one? They come in decimated, and they absolutely dominate the best defense in the NFL.
Yeah, man. I mean, from top to bottom, this was just a complete team effort. Very impressive. Domination in the second half. You kind of going back and forth. You have some ugly turnovers in the first half, and then, man, you flip a switch. The defense holds the Chargers scoreless in the second half, and the offense drops a 40-burger. So, I mean, there's nothing more you can say about this game. It was a fantastic one. Definitely one of the best of the season. That's all I can say about it right now until we get to dive deeper.
The Todd Bowles haters are in shambles right now.
They're quiet right now for sure.
Crickets.
He's cleaned it up.
All I hear is crickets.
Yeah.
Joel, how you been, man? We missed you last week.
Good. How was New York? We said how was your meeting with Juan Soto?
That was great. Me and him, we stopped by, drank some eggnog. It was awesome.
Nice. But you made sure you wouldn't go to the Yankees, right?
No Yankees. No, I was in Buffalo.
Oh, okay. So you met with Josh Allen.
Yeah, I got some of the Josh Allen cereal. Went to
some wings.
To Wigglers, I think the Wiggins is the store, something like that. Went shopping in the Bills section.
Did you get any wings?
No.
Did you get any Bills gear?
No, but I'm always tempted when I go to that big grocery store there. Seriously, they have like a whole corner that's just like Bills merchandise. Like it's the size of I'm trying to think, I don't know, big square.
Nice.
Big square.
Hey, they love their Bills up there.
They do.
That's about all.
Bills Mafia. That's it was like it's called like they have like Bills Mafia on top. Like that's the sign, and then you kind of like go into the section.
That'd be
Wegmans. That's the name.
That'd be a fun game to go to. A Bills game in Orchard Park. That'd be a really fun one.
Before they get the new stadium too, you gotta have the old stadium experience.
For sure.
I don't like that mustard guy they have. You ever seen that? There's this Bills.
What are you talking about?
There's this Bills fan that he tailgates every game, and he makes people douse him in ketchup and mustard.
It's awesome.
I don't know about that guy. Something bothers me about
the
that.
Chiefs guy, and he's like a murderer.
I don't know if he's gonna be murdered. More like a pervert.
Oh, he's Wander Franco.
Everybody comes spray me with ketchup and mustard as I'm shirtless in 20-degree weather.
All right, let's talk about the Bucs game.
I mean, you're convincing me with your argument.
I don't know about that guy. It would be fun to jump off a table.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Or jump onto a table from a high,
bro.
Yeah, from a high altitude.
You saw when they were Matt Ryan jumped into the table on the pregame show. It's pretty sick.
Matt Ryan did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bill Cowher did too. On the CBS, it's crazy.
I hate Bill Cowher.
You have a lot of enemies.
Yeah, we still need to do the third TV3 show, which is just the things I hate, and a lot of them have to do with sports.
Fair enough. All right, let's get back to the Bucs in Los Angeles. What happened in this game, Will?
Yeah, 'twas the week before Christmas, and all through the Bay, the Buccaneers were dominating in sunny LA. Let me get to the game here.
Was that off the cup or whatever?
No.
Off the dome?
Actually, kind of, yes and no. But the Bucs, they go to Los Angeles. The Chargers have all the hype around them. I told you last week, I'm not a big, I don't even know, is it Jim, John? Who cares? Harbaugh, one of them. I'm not a big believer in him. I don't like his rah-rah mentality. I don't like all his shenanigans. He can turn a program around, but he can leave them in shambles. But yeah, there's a lot of hype around the Chargers. Bucs, some people have written them off. Some people, think They're not as good as maybe, what we expected at the beginning of the year, but I think they're right there. And I think they had something to prove this game, and they absolutely did that. We'll start it off. Toe hit leather, as Gene Deckerhoff would say, and the Bucs get the ball first. Did anybody hear the coin toss? Levante David said tails, and he goes, heads. And then he won the toss, and then he said, I want ball. So we need Levante David calling it. He called it. He changed it midair, and it was right, and they let him get away with it too.
Wow.
But yeah,
and he won it in Carolina,
and
he
he
got us the ball in overtime.
exactly. So I think we found the magic. We found the the coin toss guy that we got to go to. I love Levante David so much. We'll get to it later. I'm wearing his name on the front of my chest. I'm glazing.
Comment down below if you think it looks weird or if it's a cool look for Will.
I know the youth do it. I know they do it out of respect or something, I think.
We have to keep him on contract just for the coin flips. He's 41 years old, $200,000 a year, coin flip guy.
Yeah, let him just go in and call the coin toss.
He could just be like a coach, but he's like a player, so he can do the coin toss, and then he just goes back and coaches.
Exactly. But yeah, we got a game to talk about here. Bucs get the ball first, thanks to Levante David, and Baker Mayfield would throw absolute seeds and lasers all the way down the field, 7 plays, 70 yards, and he would find Jalen McMillan on a wheel route, wide open, touchdown, Buccaneers, fire the cannons, get them going, 7-0 is a score. The Chargers, led by Justin Herbert, they would get the ball second, and they would have a touchdown drive of their own, 10 plays, 70 yards, almost 5 minutes of clock was extended due to a penalty. Justin Herbert would roll out and he would find little lad D.D. McConkey rolling out, following him on the scramble drill, and to tie the game 7-7. The Bucs would have a 7-minute drive. 12 plays, 67 yards, would have it even first and goal at the Chargers 6, but could only come up with the field goal to go up 10-7. Chargers would answer right back with a field goal of their own, tie game. Then one play into the Bucs' next drive. Baker Mayfield looking for Mike Evans, throws it behind. Interception. Is this a curse of the second quarter coming to life? The Chargers, though, they would throw. Justin Herbert would find Quentin Johnson. Somehow he holds onto the ball. Mr. Butterfingers himself to take the lead 17-10, and then it just got worse for the Bucs as they would get to their own 44-yard line, 3rd and run. Rachaad White would break some tackles, extend for the first down, but oh no, he drops the ball. Chargers get it back. But the Buccaneers defense were able to force a punt to keep it a one-score game. The Bucs, as time was expiring in the first half, would get a field goal of their own. It would be 17-13. Chargers would have 2 plays to try to get something towards the end of the first half, but they would get a sack by Logan Hall coming up big, and that would be all she wrote for the first half. Then we get to the second half. Bucs down 17-13. Can they find a way to win in Los Angeles? Could be. The Chargers, they get the ball to start, and they would, unfortunately for them, not for the Bucs, go 3 and out. The Bucs get the ball back, and that's when we started taking over. Baker Mayfield, he's scrambling in the pocket at the Tampa Bay 43-yard line. He's looking. He finds Mike Evans, throws crossbody. Mike Evans caught, stays in bounds, tiptoeing down the sideline. Nobody's going to catch him. Touchdown, Tampa Bay, a 57-yard touchdown, and the Bucs would take the lead 20-17.
That's why I did the goat noise, by the way.
Mike Evans, the
so
goat.
Clear, I'm not just making noises.
I thought you said Baker, but
no.
Even so, both of them are the goats.
Yes,
both of them. Chargers, could they answer back? No, they would have to punt the ball again. The Bucs would add on to the lead with a field goal by Money McLaughlin to make it 23-17. Then Justin Herbert, he gets pressured in the pocket on the next drive, throws up a prayer to Quentin Johnson. That's the last person you want to throw to. And Jamel Dean would come up with the interception to give the ball right back to the Buccaneers, and they would get another touchdown. And to guess who? Mike Evans. 3rd down and 12. At the Chargers 35-yard line, Baker Mayfield throws a laser to Mike Evans. All he has to do is just turn around. The ball's in his hands. Beautiful play by the Bucs. And before you know it, it's 30-17. Chargers, now they're in desperation mode. Late in the third quarter, they get a drive about 33 yards. but they go for it on 4th down. They don't get it. Bucs get the ball right back, and it would be Rachaad White running on a nice little screen pass for 11 yards after a beautiful 6-minute drive to put the game on ice, 37-17. Bucs would have another field goal, but that would be all she wrote, and your Buccaneers get a statement win in Los Angeles.
Yeah, statement is right. I mean, you know, I really did not see an outcome in this game where it wasn't close one way or the other. I thought this was going to be a dogfight in L.A. You know, two teams looking for playoff positioning. The Bucs looking to get in, keep their lead against the Falcons. The Chargers looking to avoid that last seed in the AFC and avoid some teams, you know, nipping at their heels. And the Bucs just put it to them, especially in the second half. I think if we're good, I think we should start with the defense, because I think the defense. This was an elite coaching performance by Todd Bowles. This was an elite performance by, you know, the first stringers that played and the backups that came in and stepped up huge for this Bucs defense. I mean, this was just a phenomenal performance. I mean, you look at the stats, man. The Chargers, 0 for 6 on 3rd down. 0 for 6 on 3rd down. The Chargers, 206 total yards. The Bucs had 500 for reference. The Chargers, 32 rushing yards the entire game. 0 points in the second half. This Bucs defense, you know, has been much maligned. Todd Bowles, much maligned. Players, you know, just coming back, playing through injury, much maligned. These guys stepped up when the Bucs needed them most, and I couldn't be prouder of this performance from the defense.
Yeah, shout out to Todd Bowles coming in, playing physical defense, winning on 1st down, winning on 2nd down, and being able to send the house on 3rd down and give Justin Herbert nightmares. And I guarantee you, he was thinking about that Bucs defense as he lay his head on his pillow Sunday night. Okay? That was an absolute performance against one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL, and it all starts with my man on the front of my chest, Lavonte David. Because talk about a performance, one of your leaders, one of the best Bucs, maybe the best Buccaneer of all time, dare I say it. 12 total tackles, 8 solos, 1.5 sacks, 1 tackle for loss, 3 quarterback hits, all over the field causing corruption, causing confusion, hitting Justin Herbert, getting to the quarterback. When you have somebody like that leading your team, the rest of the team follows suit. They play up with their leader. And I can't believe it. We're sitting here 2 years ago, we talking about this guy maybe retiring, and now he might be the best linebacker in the NFL. What a performance by Lavonte David.
Yeah, he was electric, man. He has been electric. Definitely a top 5 linebacker in the NFL. 34 years old. Father Time has not gotten him yet. It's very impressive what Lavonte David did. And I think as you look at this game, Lavonte David was great. But for me, I think what we've seen in the last couple weeks from this Bucs defense as they've improved and gotten better and better is how important in a Todd Bowles coach defense it is to have cornerbacks you trust. Having Zion McCollum and Jamel Dean on both sides of the field, being able to play man-to-man, play solid zone coverage, has changed the whole complexion of this Bucs defense. Because you look back at those games that Dean missed, the Bucs just did not trust, you know, Josh Hayes or Tyree Funderburg. They didn't trust him, and they had to play soft zone, and that's why Kirk Cousins or Patrick Mahomes, these guys had such big games. But now you're seeing McCollum, you're seeing Dean. These guys are having great games. Jamel Dean, an interception, 2 pass breakups. Zion McCollum, not much action over there because there was nothing was open. You know, anytime they threw a comeback, a hitch, he was sure-handed tackling. Spectacular game from the corners. Tyke Smith, Christian Eisen, these guys that, you know, covered in the middle of the field were also fantastic. So for me, I know the Chargers don't have the best wide receiving core in the NFL, but it doesn't matter to me. This corners, these coverage from the Bucs defense was fantastic. It's phenomenal. I think it's been the biggest reason of why this Bucs defense has looked night and day different in the last few weeks.
Yeah, and that's what I've been saying all along. I've been saying we've had way too many injuries on defense. I know the ones on offense were very significant with Chris Godwin and Mike Evans for most of the year. Now he's back. Looks like, you know, he never left because he's just him. He's a GOAT. First ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt. But the Bucs have been decimated on defense, and they haven't been able to play to the standard that Todd Bowles' defenses are expected. Okay, but now they've got healthy. They've got some guys back. I think Jamel Dean is a huge one. It really opens up the playbook for Todd Bowles defensively. And even still, you're without some of your big name guys. You're without basically your entire safety room. You're without them all. And doesn't that speak to the leadership of Todd Bowles that these guys are stepping up to a higher level to play for him on the road against a playoff team? You can hate Todd Bowles all you want, but doesn't that speak volumes for him as a coach to see the way these boys rally together and play for him?
It does. It really does. I think he was masterful this weekend. He really was in this game. Just the ability to win on first down, to suffocate any semblance of a Chargers rushing attack. 32 yards the whole game. That does not happen very often. And this Bucs defense, when you can't rush on first down, you can't really succeed on first down. And that's what the Bucs defense did. They made the Chargers one-dimensional. And when you're one-dimensional against a good defense, you're not going to win. And that's a great game plan. It's great execution. I thought the defensive line was spectacular in the run game, especially. JTS coming back is a huge boost in run defense. I think he's so underrated in that aspect. I think J.J. Russell.
He played a great game.
He had a really good game. He's had to miss some time with Britt out. It sucked for him. It's like it's his time to shine, and he's been injured. So to see him get in there, that might be my linebacker too. I'm just gonna say it. That might be my guy. I think he should be getting the time over KJ Britt. And then even you look at Logan Hall. A sack and a half and a tackle for loss, really good stuff. Vita Vea in the middle. And then, I think Kalijah Cansey had a really good game. His presence was felt. Him and Yaya Diaby, their stats don't jump off the page, but both their presence were felt. They were hitting, they were hitting Herbert. They were in his face. They were making bad throws happen. I really was impressed with this front seven defensively. This was a really, really game. All 11 players on the field for Bucs defense.
Well, yeah, I mean, to answer the first part of your statement there, I guess to follow up on that, that's how Todd Bowles' defense is supposed to work. Yeah. You win on first down, you win on second down, and then you can send the pressure like that. And that's how it works. That's what works the best is when you can shut down the run, make teams one-dimensional. Then you send the blitzes and the stunts, and that's when we see his defense work the best, and the Bucs were able to do that. But, yeah. I mean, I think Logan Hall, man, how long have we been waiting for him to turn up? I mean, he's looked phenomenal. I think, you look at their stats right now, they are getting a sack nearly a quarter of the time when they have a quarterback pressure. So about 25% of the time for each of them, they are getting a sack when it's a pass play, when they're rushing the quarterback. They are both top 6 in the NFL. In that category.
Who, Logan Hall?
Logan Hall and Kalijah Cansey.
Okay. That's
Kalijah Cansey, man. Kalijah Cansey. I'm starting to see, we talked about it last year when the Bucs drafted him. This could be Aaron Donald Jr. And I'm starting to see it. Because not only am I seeing good pass rushing, I'm seeing nastiness. I'm seeing him shoving Aiden O'Connell and taking him out the game. Maybe it was a late hit. But that's nasty. He's
going to hit the quarterback.
He's hitting the quarterback.
Yeah.
And it might be a little late, but that's what you want. You want these quarterbacks. You see some of the pass rushers in the league, like Nick Bosa and Max Crosby. They are in the quarterback's face every play. And we're starting to see that from Kalijah Cansey. We're starting to see that nastiness come out. And I love it. I absolutely love it from a D lineman.
Yeah, and another thing to speak about Kalijah Cansey is we're seeing the versatility of him. I mean, I think they did a really good job. Kalijah Cansey on your team is probably your best or second best pass rusher, pound for pound. Maybe him or Yaya. So Todd Bowles, he moved him around. He had Kalijah Cansey on the edge, where he had more one-on-one space matchup, and that helped, on a play. He even had Kalijah Cansey dropping back in pass coverage, where he absolutely seatbelt strapped Ladd McConkey on fourth down. Hitting them with it. And we just saw the versatility of Kalijah Cansey. I mean, we've talked about it before on the show how we're not, the hugest fans of dropping the defensive lineman in coverage, but it worked. And to move all over, the line, all over the field is a testament to Kalijah Cansey. I think that's another huge thing for, how good this defense can be is how they use him because he's a game breaker. I mean, we didn't have him for the first part of the season. Kalijah Cansey is an X factor for this defense, and we've seen it, the last month really. He's been pretty spectacular, ever since that Chiefs game, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it on defense. We moved to offense.
Wait. One last defensive point.
Yeah.
Best defensive player of the game, Levante David breaking up that pass.
Which one?
No, sorry, Mike
Evans?
Yeah, I hit my head. I'm like, best defensive player.
That was,
Okay, number 1, Levante David, but number 2, Mike Evans.
that was actually a huge play.
Huge
I
defensive
Mm-hmm.
play.
That was a huge.
That
play.
was a very big turning point.
Yeah.
I mean, I think though, since Joel brought up game-changing plays or stuff like that, I think again, I'm gonna glaze Todd Bowles again. You look at the second quarter woes, the second quarter curse. Bucs get an interception, they get a fumble, but that Bucs defense keeping it together, forcing the Chargers to punt the ball away. When that game could have gotten out of hand, another touchdown, and we're looking at 24-10 going into half instead of 17-13. The Bucs defense stepping up, that really changed the game. And you look how they played the rest of the way. No points allowed in the second half. Unbelievable job by the defense.
I completely agree. That's a great thing to bring up. That was a huge play. I think another huge drive defensively was coming out of the second half. Chargers get the ball, you force a 3-and-out. Both those drives end in 3-and-outs. The Bucs haven't gotten a lot of 3-and-outs this season. So those are huge plays. I mean, you look at this drive after the fumble. You got an incomplete pass. You have a run for no gain, again, winning on first down. Then an incomplete pass, winning on second down. And then Justin Herbert's forced to have to drop the ball down, low underneath. And, it's a really, really huge play and a huge drive. And I think as you look at, this game, I'm so glad you brought that up because, man, it was a huge, huge, huge play. It did look like, we've had the second quarters where it's kind of been like, the game's out of reach now. We've had some bad second quarters this game. We still need to clean that up, but to get that stop really changed the whole complexity of the game.
Yeah, and I hope they broke the curse because I don't even like talking about the second quarter, but
It's rough. It's a rough quarter for the Bucs, but that's how it goes. That's how it goes, and they've been so good in first quarters that they're able to kind of overcome it.
Mm-hmm.
Are we ready for offense?
Yeah, I think so.
So I think you got to start on offense with Baker Mayfield, man. I read a little article piece talking about how 2 years ago in December 2022, Baker Mayfield was on his last leg of his career. The Rams, down a bunch of quarterbacks. Matthew Stafford's hurt. They take a flyer on him for a week, and the rest is history. He leads a game-winning drive. He kind of sparks his career back, and then he ends up in Tampa. And now he's in his place, in his home, where he's going to be for the rest of his career. Baker Mayfield was fantastic, really, really fantastic. Other than that interception, pretty much flawless. 22 for 27, 288 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, a QBR of 94.7, and a passer rating of 135.3. I mean, boys, what do we think about Baker Mayfield in this game?
Yeah, I think some of his throws were absolutely phenomenal. I think he was just hitting the open guy and throwing seeds. I honestly say what Joel was saying. I think that throw was honestly worse than the interception because, the throw he makes to Mike Evans there on the interception, it was behind him.
It was a bad throw.
But Mike Evans was open, what I'm saying.
Bad throw, not a bad decision.
It wasn't a bad decision.
Yeah, you're right.
The throw to Mike Evans in double coverage that Mike had to make a play on towards the end of the first half there, that's a bad decision, and that's what I don't want to see. If you make a bad throw, you make a bad throw. It was still a good read. So I want to get that point out there because I have seen some rumblings about him throwing a lot of interceptions and this and that, but I think it's more troublesome when you make a bad read rather than just you miss time or mistarget the throw.
Yeah, and I do think that was a good sign for Baker. That's a good point because he just missed his throw, and he's been pretty accurate this season, especially over the middle of the field. But sometimes it just happens. It's football. It gets away from you. And that throw was definitely behind. And then you have the fumble of Rashad White to kind of compound it. But the Bucs offense, they were good, and I think the reason the Bucs offense has been so lethal, especially Baker Mayfield, is they have a 48% conversion rate on third down. That's third best in the NFL. That is phenomenal. To convert almost 30% of third downs, especially when you're getting a third and long situations and you're still converting, is spectacular, and a huge reason why is Baker Mayfield. He has a 100.0 passer rating, which is really, really good on third down. 9 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. This guy has been, elite on third down. It's been, a huge part of the Bucs offense. Even last year, Baker Mayfield was really good on third down, and that was a huge part of the Bucs offense. So I think seeing the way they convert, the Bucs offense this year has done a great job of getting into third and manageable, third and short. The run game, we can get to that next, is really good. But, Joel, any other thoughts on Baker Mayfield this game?
Even his running game, he was running a lot on those third downs, and they all weren't risky runs either. Just run to the sideline, get the first down. Run to the sideline, get the first down, and that's because they were third and manageables, like you're saying.
Yeah, I agree, and I think he was much more assertive in this game. We kind of commented last game against the Raiders, especially second and third down, where he was kind of stuck in between running, throwing, made some late bad decisions. This game, he was, first, second option, reading the field, and then he was tucking and running. And I think he was much more assertive, and that is when Baker Mayfield's at his best. That's the level we need every single time. And as for this rushing game, Bucky the Buck was back, had some lower back soreness, tightness. We didn't know if he was going to play. He was questionable all week, game time decision, but when the game was time to happen, he was there. 15 carries, 117 yards, a huge run of 54 yards, 7.6 yards per carry. Just phenomenal. Rachaad White, solid again, 15 carries, 64 yards, 4.3 yards per carry. And then Baker and Sean Tucker both did their fair share as well. But the running game, 223 yards, 5.7 yards per carry. Liam Cohen. Here's my question, honestly. Are we looking at potentially the most well-rounded Bucs offense of all time this year?
I think so.
Yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal. I want to make it clear that 222 total rushing yards, that is a franchise record.
Of rushing yards?
Yep.
I thought they beat that this year.
They beat it earlier this year. Now they beat it again.
Wow.
222 total rushing yards. That is a new franchise record for your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But, yeah, Liam Cohen, offensive mastermind. I think this was one of his best games when we started to say, we said last week, go with what worked, be a little more consistent. And I think you saw that because, at the start of the game, heavy passing. Baker Mayfield is, like a cannon. Boom, 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 down the field. Pass, pass, pass. And then you get to the second half, and then it's like, okay, now we're turning on the Jets. We're going to bully you at the run. Huge. Bucky Irving had like a 50-yard run. Rachaad White had a couple huge runs. Just absolutely punishing the defense to a point where you could tell that defense was done. The Chargers defense was done. One of the best in the NFL, and they were done. And I think that's what we want to see. You beat them heavy with the pass. You have them sitting back on your heels. And then as the game goes on, you just wear them out with Bucky Irving. Rachaad White, who's looked phenomenal the past 2 games. You absolutely love to see it. What a great game plan by Liam Cohen.
Yeah, the rushing attack in the second half was special, man. It really was. You get Bucky, you get Rachaad. I love the formations they were throwing out there. We had some three people in the backfield formations. We got tosses. We got shotgun under center. I just love the complexity of the Liam Cohen rushing attack. I think it's something that is so underrated. It's so good. We even saw it in the preseason, with random people that we didn't even see, in these games, offensive linemen, running backs, quarterbacks. It was Kyle Trask and Sean Tucker back there, and those guys are good. But my point is, we saw how this Buccaneers rushing attack was going to be more complex. It was going to free up the runners, and that has come to fruition. This scheme, these running backs, they're talented. The scheme is fantastic, and just the only thing that can slow down the running game is when the Bucs abandon it. That really is the only thing. So I think for me, to answer my own question, I think this is for sure the most well-rounded Bucs offense of all time. I really do. I can't remember a time where both sides of the offensive attack have been this good simultaneously. I know we have the Brady era, but that was a pass-heavy team. And that's really been the best offense was that 2021 Bucs offense. So for me, yeah, I really think this is one of the best offenses in Bucs history, and I think it's because of how well-rounded it is.
Yeah, and you got to give a lot of credit to the big boys up front, the offensive line playing phenomenal. Graham Barton, I think quietly Cody Mauch has had one of the best seasons out of any interior offensive lineman in the NFL. Just the way he's progressed. Just throwing guys, setting up the I think on that big Bucky Irving scamper down the right side, I mean, he's just totally creating a hole. Just one arm shrugging the defensive lineman inside to create that gap. And then you look at Luke Gedeke, 90.1 PFF grade on running blocks. That would be the highest out of any lineman in the entire NFL this weekend of football. So phenomenal job blocking by the guys up front.
Yeah, I completely agree. They again, another thing, probably one of the best offensive lines in Bucs history. Just really, really good stuff. I think Barton has steadily gotten better. The guards have been fantastic. You're completely right. Britterson, he's been really solid. Cody Mauch has gotten better and better. And I was just trying to look up because the Chargers have Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. I mean, 1 sack on the game. Joey Bosa has 0 sacks, and so does Khalil Mack. I mean, that's impressive from your tackles. I mean, Wirfs and Gedeke both had overall grades above 80. I think Wirfs might have been 75. Wirfs was 79.5, and then Gedeke was 89.3, and then Cody Mauch's up there with an 80.2. These guys, fantastic grades, fantastic job blocking. You just got to give a lot of credit to this offensive line because, again, the scheme can be that good, but the big boys got to block and they got to open the holes, and that's what they did.
And they're getting better and better every week. Like, this is still a younger offensive line.
Yeah.
So come the next couple of years, like, we're going to be somebody to be reckoned with.
No, I mean, this is your offensive line for the future.
Yeah, this is
you
it.
locked up Wirfs, Gedeke's young, Barton's a rookie. Mauch is second year. Britterson, might be the only piece that might not be there for a long time, but you could lock him up pretty easily as well. It's pretty impressive. And I think it's also impressive how we've gone this long without talking about Mike Evans' season-high performance, 9 catches, 159 yards receiving, a 57-yard touchdown, and 2 on the day. I mean, dude, it was just awesome to see Mike get free like that.
How can somebody like that just get open so easy? What are the Chargers doing, man? How do you let that guy get open, man?
Hey, you said this on the second Mike Evans touchdown. You complimented the throw by Baker Mayfield, which agreed, great throw. Route by Mike Evans on that.
He hit him with the shimmy.
It was a beautiful
the Euro
route.
step almost.
Ooh. James Harden on the route.
For real.
But yeah, Mike Evans, just fantastic. That is the breakout game we've been needing to see. He now needs, 250 yards in 3 games to get 1,000
I think it's,
yards.
Average of 84 a game or something.
Like that. This was the big game we needed for Mike Evans for the 1,000-yard streak. So hopefully he can keep it going against the Cowboys this week. Jalen McMillan, 5 catches, 75 yards. I'm pretty sure all of that was in the first half. But these are, Jalen McMillan's best 2 games back-to-back, and it seems like he's hitting his stride as well.
Yeah, 3 touchdowns in the last 2 games. And when you draft a receiver like that, that's what you want to see. And I know it kind of stinks with Chris Godwin getting hurt. But, what I take away from his touchdown in the game is Mike Evans is on the outside, McMillan lined up on the inside. Mike Evans runs a little post route. The safety and the entire field follows him. And Jalen McMillan comes across on a wheel underneath, and he's wide open. And that's what you want to see, him making plays like that, because the big guys and big targets can draw away the defense, and you give McMillan the opportunity to make plays like that. He's got to make more plays like that, though.
McMillan made some nice contested catches, too, in the first half. That touchdown was obviously wide open, but he made some nice catches middle of the field. I was really impressed with his performance, especially first half. Obviously, that was most of what he's doing. Second half, he was fighting people, but it is what it is. Rookie mistake. We move. Definitely got spurred on, though, so it is what it is. I also will say that Jalen McMillan touchdown, that's a play I draw up for the kids in flag football. I'm not even kidding. I call it refrigerator, and that's exactly the play that got run. So I'm just saying, PSA kids, if you're listening, I do it like the pros. I call it like the pros, baby.
Cohen's taking notes from you?
Yeah, dude. I've been sending in my game plan to him just in case. That's probably why they've been doing so good the last couple weeks. But yeah, really, really good stuff from McMillan. That was pretty much the big receivers. K. Dotton, a couple catches. Still would like to see him get some more targets. Only 3 on the game. Sterling Shepard, big catch. Probably his most quiet game in a minute. But yeah, Evans and McMillan, a lot of production through the air, and very impressive games for both of them for different reasons. But love to see that. We good to move on to next week?
Yeah.
So next week, here's what I will say. In this winning streak, the Bucs have had to get some monkeys off their back. They first got the monkey of winning an overtime game off their back against Carolina. Then this week they kind of got the monkey off their back of losing to playoff teams, a couple times. And now this week they need to get the primetime football monkey off their back, because on Sunday Night Football, the Buccaneers will be headed into Dallas, into Jerry's World, to face off against the Cowboys. It's no secret the Cowboys have had a frustrating season for them. Their quarterback Dak Prescott goes down. They now have Cooper Rush playing, but this Cowboys team has they still got a lot of talent. They got Micah Parsons, one of the best players on the field at all times. They got C.D. Lamb, one of the best receivers. I mean, guys, what are our keys for the Bucs in this game, prime time?
Yeah, well, I think the Cowboys, they are a whole bag of fun, as you would say, meaning that it's a complete disaster in Dallas. But they are no sleeper. I mean, you look at Cooper Rush taking over for Dak Prescott quietly. They're 3-1 since he took over. So they've been winning some games as of recent. The defense has played slightly better. I think you look at the Panthers. I thought the Panthers were for sure a lock in that game against Dallas.
Yeah, that wasn't surprising.
And Dallas goes to Carolina, absolutely dominates them. You look at the Bengals. I thought the Bengals, Joey B, Jamar Chase, they had a huge day, but the Cowboys were right in that game. It took some magic for them to win that one. So yeah, I think the Cowboys, it's going to be a lot tougher than we think. But I do think the best way you're going to attack this team is winning in the air. And I look at how Jamar Chase played, and I'm really hoping we see Mike Evans have another performance like that against this decimated Cowboys secondary. I mean, their best player is Trayvon Diggs, and he's not even playing. So you should play very well against their passing defense, and I think that's your key to victory.
Yeah, I think as for the other side of the Bucs offense, the rushing attack, Dallas's rushing defense isn't too good either. On the season they're allowing 4.8 yards per carry and 136.1 yards per game. That is both 29th in the NFL. I think this Bucs offense will be able to move the ball at will without turnovers. And we know that Dallas, that's kind of been, under Mike McCarthy, that's been their calling card defensive-wise. They have the guys that are going to get the turnovers for you, the strip sacks, the interceptions. They had, Bland? Bland had the pick-six streak or whatever that was last year. So the Bucs don't turn the ball over. They're in a good spot, man. This could be another game where they score 30, 40 points. Mm-hmm. But if you turn the ball over, that's where you're going to get in trouble, and that's where I just get nervous in primetime games, man. I really hope the Bucs can show themselves as a different team for this primetime game Sunday Night Football.
Yeah. I think that's one of the biggest parts too, is keep the fans out of the game. Like, Dallas is going to get up for this game. Like, they don't want to embarrass America, because after all, they're America's team. So they're going to get up. They're going to play hard for this one. They're going to give it their all. So if we can silence the fans early, maybe we'll forget this is a primetime game and we won't have to worry about that monkey any longer.
Who remembers the last time we played Dallas on Sunday night?
Kettle game. Ezekiel Elliott got in the kettlebell.
No, the one where we destroyed them.
Yeah, that was week one, right?
My bad. Yeah,
that was 2022.
Yeah, but was it 2016? They went to
2016.
That game's like ingrained in my head. But yeah, Mike Evans one-handed catch.
And we lost to them in the playoffs one year, right?
That same year.
Yeah.
We smoked them week one, and then we got embarrassed.
The Dallas to Dallas saga that some people call it.
Yeah.
That's because Tom Cruise showed up to the playoff game.
Darn you, Tom Cruise.
Scientologist, man.
Yeah, seriously. Get him out of here.
But yeah, I do think it's important to note that the Dallas rushing game has been pretty decent the last few weeks. I think Rico Dowdle's averaging like over 100 yards per carry or per game the last 3 games. So the Bucs need to continue their dominance against the rushing attacks defensive wise. Offensively, I think defensively, I think Dallas is lacking that big play ability, especially without Dak Prescott. Where they're going to get that big play ability is C.D. Lamb, so they definitely need to make sure that they keep him in check. Cannot let him get any deep passes, big plays, take a jet sweep for 50 yards, something like that. That's how you're going to get in trouble. But if not, I really think the Bucs are in prime position to win this football game.
Yeah, I think by all means they should win this game, and they need to keep it going. Let's win the games you're supposed to. We ready to predict?
I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm super confident in this Bucs team. Sunday Night Football on the road. Baker going into Dallas.
He's from Texas. Too.
From Texas.
Mm.
I don't see him leaving there without a victory. So I'm going to predict the Bucs to win this one 45-28. 45-28. Bucs winning a big one. Dallas gets some garbage time touchdowns.
I'm kind of right there with you, Will. I think that the Bucs have the talent. They have, the storylines. They just played one of their best games of the season. I think if this game had gone a little bit different, I might have been a little bit more worried about this Dallas game. But they just played a fantastic game, and I think they're going to keep it rolling. I think the defense is only going to get better. I don't see Dallas scoring 20. I really don't. I think the Bucs are going to move the ball at will. Hoping for no turnovers. That is what I'm asking for. Tampa Bay, no second quarter implosion, no turnovers, and I think that's going to happen. And I think the Bucs win 33-17.
Yeah, the implosion is the thing I'm most scared of. Like when we went down with San Diego, I was like, oh no, and then when we get like 24 unanswered,
30.
It doesn't matter, but
30
unanswered.
30.
Yeah.
So. I'm going Bucs. I'm going Bucs.
Yes.
My
There we
biggest
go.
fear is the crowd, but if we can silence them early, I think we're going home with a victory. I'm going to go 31-17 Bucs.
Yeah, the crowd is still pretty devastated from that New York Yankees World Series loss. At Duke, you don't know what they're going to do in basketball. The Maple Leafs aren't very good, so all those fans they're definitely going to pour their heart and soul into this game.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we all got Bucs. Sunday Night Football, NBC, 8:20. Looking for a big win for your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They went out. They'll have 11 wins on the season. 8-6 right now. Really impressive. 4-game winning streak. Let's make it 5, baby.
An early Christmas present.
Dang straight. Yeah, the Bucs don't have any of these weird Christmas games. Like there's people playing on Christmas Day. I think
They're Netflix games too.
Yeah, the Bucs don't have any of that, which I'm pretty thankful for. They're all Sunday or Saturday. I think their last game could be flexed this Saturday, but they're mostly all Sunday games. So that's good. I love that. So, yeah, watch your Bucs. That's our keys. And we're going to move to the Rays because the Rays had a huge development today as the Pinellas County board had their vote. So last week, the St. Pete City Council, they reaffirmed their vote to approve the Rays here to stay plan. And today, Pinellas County went to a vote after having some conversation with actually Rob Manfred. Rob Manfred had a conversation with Chris Latvala, I think is how you say his name. That was really hard for me for some reason. But they had a discussion, and Pinellas County voted 5-2 in favor of the Rays here to stay plan. Yay, woo, 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 the Rays are getting a stadium, you would think. But the Rays had a statement basically saying they need more money from the county and the city, so we're still on hold. But I think Joel has more insight into what this means for the stadium situation.
So I was doing a little bit of research just now. I think in my opinion, this is the biggest victory St. Pete has had since 2016 when Rick Kreisman allowed them to start looking on the other side of the bay for stadiums in Tampa, because it was Bill Foster. He was the mayor in the late 2000s, early 2010s, and at that time I felt like he was the villain in this stadium saga. I think Stu was really trying to use that, like, oh, we want to go to Tampa, but Bill Foster, he's really keeping us here in St. Pete. So that was when they were looking at the Carillon project, which is over there by the Howard Franklin Bridge and stuff, because they're like, oh, we're going to try to move it closest to Tampa as we can. So once Bill Foster got out, that's when Rick Kreisman came in, and that's when the opportunity to start going to Tampa came about. So that was a major victory in the honor of St. Pete, and now this happening right now is the next biggest victory they've had, because they're saying, hey, Stu, if you want to do this, you're paying what you said you're going to pay. And if you're not going to do it, which you're not, then get your stinking hands off of this property that is rightfully ours and go back to New York and root for your stupid Mets and Juan Soto. That's what St. Pete just did.
Yeah, I have to agree with Joel here. I think this is a huge win for the city of St. Pete and Pinellas County, because I think this has almost been a game of chess, not checkers, and it's each party, the Rays and Pinellas County, making subtle moves and trying to outsmart the other ones and be super not be super subtle about like what they're doing and kind of fly under the radar and this and that. But I think, doing this, voting yes on the bonds goes, all right, your move, Rays, your move. We've done everything that you've asked of us. We approved it. Now it's on your hands to let this go through or to kill it. But no matter what, it's on you because we did our part. We voted for it. What Colby was saying too, it sucks because the Rays immediately come out and go, yeah, well, now that has to move back to 2029 and not 2028. It's going to cost more money. We need the city of St. Pete to give us more money. The good thing is that we don't have to worry about votes out of that. That stinks. We don't have to worry about any more votes going on. Now it's just bureaucrats arguing about the budget and this and that. So at least we're a little closer. I still think that's a good thing. Like, now they can work it out. We don't have to sit there and go, please, like these random council members who I don't even know if I voted for or not. Like, please vote yes on the stadium, please. And I want to say that they have until March 31st or the deal's canceled completely. March 31st of 2025 or it's off completely. But there is still time to work on it. There is still time, and hopefully they can get something done. Maybe they can figure out the money, or maybe Stu Sternberg sells the team. And shout out to Chris Latvala. Shout out to that guy because, he gets elected. He starts poo-pooing the bill. And, that guy took a lot of hate.
Yeah.
That guy took a lot of hate. Like, even from me, I was hating on that guy. I was afraid that there was going to be like a United Healthcare situation with him, Luigi. I was scared for him because I did see death threats. I legitimately saw death threats on Twitter towards this guy for not approving the deal, but he still votes for it. But he says, I think the best thing I've ever heard is that Stu needs to go. Sternberg needs to go. I want the Rays here. Mm-hmm. I want baseball in the Bay, but I don't want it to be with Sternberg. And what a gutsy thing to say. Stick it to the man, because Sternberg needs to get out of here.
Yeah, we're basically just seeing it's always been the Rays' fault. It really has always been the Rays' fault, and that goes back to Stu Sternberg and the people running the funds and just the decision for the Rays. But this is not really new for us to understand because we've kind of, especially us in this panel, I think we've tried to tell you is the Rays are not looking for a solution to help their ball club or their organization. They're looking for a solution to make the most initial profit, and then Stu Sternberg wants to sell and get out of there. That is what they're trying to do, and when you are looking for solutions to kind of undermine your own organization, you're not going to find good solutions. And that's the problem, is this is kind of everything that Stu Sternberg does in this situation is shallow, and that's why it keeps not happening. It keeps blowing up in his face because all his plans are shallow. There are not any plans that he makes that are actually beneficial and make sense for the future of the Rays. And at some point, I just don't see how he can keep doing these failed plans and not just take his lump and sell the team and get out of here. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And I think we're all seeing that it's just the Rays have always been the problem. The Rays, and they're not only that they've always been the problem, they've tried to frame both cities as the problem. Frame them, literally frame them. Pass the blame off, try to act, all innocent.
Chris Latvala, man, they were coming after him.
Exactly, try to do a split city crap, do that stuff. They've tried to act like they're trying every possible solution, but they're not. They're trying every possible solution that they see that Stu Sternberg sees he can get out with an initial profit, and that's it. So if they would I just wish he would sell the team. I really just wish he would sell the team.
And remember all these things that he's been doing for the last, at this point, it's got to be almost 18 years. All of these things, all these different promotions that he's been putting on, all these different stadium renderings, all these different things are just ways in which he can push that window a little bit longer, because his goal from the beginning of this was just to stay in Tropicana Field up until 2028 and collect all of the league sharing revenue. And he wasn't paying any lease for Tropicana Field, so he was just pocketing the money. And every couple of years or so, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, this is the one, Carolina. Oh yeah, this is the one, St. Pete by the airport. Oh yeah, we're going to Tampa. I think you might even throw Newport Richie in there at some point. Montreal, St. Pete again. All these different things.
The 800 Ybor City renderings.
Yeah,
that's the one I believed in the most. He really fooled me on that one.
I saw at least like 4 or 5 like different stadiums.
For sure. They have
Or
a
in
lot of
Ybor City.
Yeah, there was that other one on the other side of the Hillsborough River. So yeah, all these different things. But now the Tropicana Field's out of the picture. It's really forcing the hand of baseball. And the commissioner's even been having talks with
Yeah.
Tampa. And there was a quote he had the other day where he didn't say, this might be like speculating, but he didn't specifically say St. Pete. He said, our goal is to keep the Rays in the Tampa Bay region.
He said that. No,
He said that, yeah.
No, and again, if we were trying to find a solution that was best for the Rays' future, they would be in Tampa already. But no one is willing to find that solution within the Rays. So really, our only hope, I think, at this point is for Rob Manfred to step in. And the fact that he's been having these discussions, been stepping in, had the discussion with Latvala, had a discussion with Stu Sternberg, stuff like that. That is a positive sign because that is what we need. We are going to have to need Major League Baseball to step in and make the Rays make an actual decision for the welfare of their ball club. That's what's going to need to happen. So if you want to root for anything, you want to root for Rob Manfred to finally do something right as an MLB commissioner.
And it looks like he is doing
Yeah, it
right.
looks-
Yeah, because like Oakland's officially off the table. So I think he may have said this in words, but he's turned his full attention now over to the Rays. And with Tropicana Field out of the picture, he's saying, like, okay, like, that's gone. You have to figure something out. And now that all these things with St. Pete are happening, he's realizing, like, okay, Stu's the blame. And it might get to the point where, again, he kicks out Stu as owner, and local ownership comes in and takes over this team.
Jeffrey Vinnick.
Come on, Jeffrey. Glazers.
Please, Dada.
I mean, they could own, like, 3%. Like, that counts. That counts.
Tom Brady.
There are wealthy, independent business owners in the area. Nobody quite knows them by names. Only like the sports insiders.
Like
know
the Dex
names.
Imaging fellers.
Dex Imaging's a big component in all of this, and there are other groups as well. So if ownership is picked
What's
up by
this?
somebody else, it'll be a large corporation of people.
That's ideal. That is ideal. So that's kind of the news. I think it will unfold. Obviously, there's going to be a lot between now and that March 31st deadline. That'll be some great news to hear right before we're trying to, have a 2025 Rays season. I'm glad we can be distracted by the stadium instead of talking about the ball club.
And I think I'll end on this. I think at this point, nothing can go wrong for the Rays. That might be my famous last words. But, I mean, worst case scenario, we build this stupid stadium in St. Pete, Marlins Park style, empty, but hey, at least we're locked and loaded for 30 years.
You know what? Fair enough.
I'll be
fair
going
enough.
to the games.
I'll be
I
going
mean,
to the
like,
games.
Stu Sternberg will be like, oh, you guys really thought you were that smart. Well, psych, signed on the dot. The shovels are in the ground in April.
Yeah, and you got baseball in Tampa. And it might not be ideal, but it's
I
baseball in
mean,
Tampa
like
Bay.
at this point, I am getting a little tired. Let's just, if it's in St. Pete, I'll begrudgingly drive there 12 times a year.
Hey man, you live in Pinellas, man. It's equal for you.
I mean, I gotta admit, it is hard to get to Ybor City, but for the sake of the community, I want it.
Well, I'll drive the extra 20 minutes for a full ballpark. I'll do that every
Yeah, that's very true. That's
every
very
time.
true.
But
Dude, I don't know. I love going to St. Pete for the Rays.
no, I love St. Pete's. Pretty
I
awesome.
love it.
But I want Orlando people to go to Rays games.
It's true. That's true.
Do they want us to go to Magic games? They make it difficult.
Magic tickets are expensive these days.
Yeah, they're
man.
expensive. You got to go through completely through Orlando, Disney, Universal, then downtown, and parking's atrocious. Why do we have to make it easy for them for our teams?
Yeah, they really should have built it around Disney World. Like that wasn't their best call.
Yeah, put it in like Wide World of Sports.
You know where they should have built it was like where it was called Circus World back in the day. But there's like a movie theater and a Target there right now. It's like the first thing you pass right is you're like, okay, we're in Orlando. They should have built it around that spot.
That would
They should have, because downtown Orlando might be the
sucks.
worst in the
it's
country.
Horrible. Downtown Orlando is atrocious. It's like a icky place. It makes me feel
It is. It's like,
icky.
dude. You know, one time I went to the Cheez-It Bowl, Florida State, Oklahoma, and the guy made us give him an extra. He made me slip him another 20 because he said somebody might come steal your car. And it's like, dude, you're gonna steal my car? You're making me give you another 20? Like,
That's-
it's just it is unsafe there, dude.
No, it actually is. Like if you haven't been to downtown Orlando, it doesn't seem like a place that's like icky, slimy like that, but it is.
What's the neighborhood that the Magic are in? Like right as you're walking in, it's got all the bricks and stuff. It's like Railroad or something.
I don't know.
That spot's creepy. It's got all the nightclubs.
It's like under the bridges.
Yes,
It's under the bridges. Like, it's so disgusting.
Yeah, I
man.
don't like
is
it.
just- no, I know. We parked last time we went to a Magic game. We had to park on that side and go over, and it's like I did not like
It's
walking.
like,
over
all right,
there.
guys, keep your wallets in your front pocket and let's not die.
For sure.
Mission complete.
But yeah, that's our Rays talk, stadium talk. We'll update you as the things come. If you guys follow us on Instagram, we have like a good post kind of explaining the whole timeline of these events. I did some research. These boys helped me out. We've been talking about it a while. So yeah, check out that post on Instagram. It's got the full timeline, stuff like that. But yeah, we're gonna move to the Lightning. We're gonna probably do this pretty quick because it's hockey.
Got 2 games,
Hockey
so
in December, 2 games.
The Rays have really been absorbing all the attention on the Lightning. I feel bad.
I do feel bad.
Stupid
Again,
Rays.
the curse of the Lightning losing on days we record has been lifted. They beat the Blue Jackets 5-3, but we're not going to talk about those. We're going to talk about their 2 wins leading up to this, where the Lightning beat the Flames 8-3 and beat the Kraken 5-1. So we'll start in the Flames game. I mean, this was a game full of record breakers. Nikita Kucherov tying a franchise record with 6 points in the game, and then Jake Gensel getting his first hat trick as a Tampa Bay Lightning.
yeah. Oh my goodness. Are you gonna recap it or
Just roll.
should I just talk about it,
Yeah.
dude? I mean, this game was so fun to watch, and just seeing some of the points I was talking about coming to fruition. What did I tell you last week? I said the power play, passing it around. You don't have to worry about Kucherov anymore. You got Gensel staying in front of the goalie, blocking his vision, and it's working so well. And then you see it back to back with the Lightning. This game against Calgary, I just look at the first power play. It goes Radish to Hedman to Kucherov to Point. Point takes the easy slapper goal. Guess who's standing right in front of the goalie? Gensel. Just perfect power play. Then you see it again. Radish, Hedman, Kucherov, Point hits. Point shoots it, miss, rebound, but Cirelli's right there. I mean, when you have a bunch of guys who can make plays, make quality shots, it makes their power play so dangerous. I mean, we're looking at now 8 power play goals in the last 6 games for the Lightning, not including tonight. And it's all been thanks to Mr. Jake Gensel causing problems up front and just everybody stepping up around Kucherov to where he doesn't have to just be the guy to take the shot. He can feed it to guys. I thought Braden Point looked phenomenal off of that too. I mean, I am absolutely loving what I'm seeing from this red-hot power play, and it was definitely inflamed in the fiery, what do they call that, the sombrero? Saddle Dome in Calgary.
Yeah, I mean, 3 for 3 in this game on the power play. And on the flip side, you didn't take a single penalty in this game. You're going to win a lot of games if you score power play goals and don't take a penalty. So the Lightning struggled with that early on in the season. Another thing, you're going to love this, Joel. 40 face-off wins for the Lightning to 24 for Calgary. That is impressive.
You control the game if you win the face-off.
You do, and they controlled this one. This was a complete domination. I think Calgary cut it to 1, but then the Lightning just ran away with it in the third period. This is a really good game. Really, really good game. Jake Gensel on a 7-game goal streak as of tonight. Just really, really impressive to see what he's been doing. I think Connor Geekie got a goal. I think Connor Geekie in this game had 6 shots on net. I think this was this game. So again, this Lightning team, as the youth develops and as the top line people start to play with each other more, it's got weapons all over the place. So it's been very, very fun to watch the Lightning on this road trip. And I also think as we get to Seattle and stuff, I think just overall, West Coast road trips, I think, are a great thermometer for where a team is at. These road trips are grueling. It's 4 or 5 games in a week on the other side of the country, different time zone, away from your families probably. These games are grueling. These trips are grueling. And you really learn a lot from a team on how they do on West Coast trips. And these things have gone back and forth, but you look at this West Coast trip, you had a 4 games, and you went 3-1 on the West Coast.
6 points.
Yeah.
Huge 6 points
Yes.
getting that on the road.
That is massive. Really, really good stuff. I think you can see that the Lightning are in a great position right now as a hockey club just based on how they played on this West Coast trip.
I completely agree. Yeah, it's so tough, and even looking at kind of struggling in that Oilers game, I thought that was one of the sloppiest games of the year I saw from the Lightning, and even though you got Connor McDavid on your team, Leon Draisaitl, I still thought as a whole the Lightning were really, really sloppy defensively, and still almost came away with that win. I'm not sure about that high stick at the end. I personally think Nick Paul got it in, and then Darnell Nurse definitely let it in and just with his hand threw it back out. That's neither here nor there. But I'm just saying, you start off with kind of an ugly loss, but you're able to turn around and rack off some huge wins. So shout out to the Lightning for that.
Yeah, I think we're ready to move to Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
So this Seattle game, the Lightning win 5-1. They get goals from. They get goals from Hagel, Point, Gensel on the power play, and then Hagel, and then Declan Carley gets his first career NHL goal, the young defenseman. So this was a really good game.
Well, yeah, Carlisle called up that day for the Lightning and scores the goal. So how fun is that for him?
It's magical.
This game did not start off well for the Lightning. Turning the puck over way too many times. I want to say at one point Seattle had 7 shots to the Lightning's zilch, 0. And it looked a lot like, remnants from that Oilers game at times. And I was super concerned. And then, of course, Mr. Kucherov himself gets a steal, takes it into, their zone off his stick after getting the steal. And then he would, I guess he wouldn't. That would be later in the game. That would be the third period. But yeah, just things like that, making plays and turning the game on its head and being able to come up, another power play goal. I think that's the biggest thing we saw. And, just to not lose, just to get that momentum back. And I think we saw that last year a bunch is when they would struggle for a period or two and they would fight back. But this one, they struggled for a little bit, but then it was all Lightning for the rest of that game, just absolutely dominating. And we haven't seen that from this team that much, to where you can start out that bad and then still find a way to win by 4 goals.
I do think it's a good point. The Lightning have done a much better job this year at making corrections in the middle of the period and not at the intermissions.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about how the Kraken kind of got up, 6-7 shots on goal to nothing. The Lightning finished with 31 shots on goal to the Kraken's 22. So they really did dominate the rest of this game.
Mm-hmm.
You get the power play goal from Gensel. It's the thing Will's talking about. The flexibility and the dangerousness of this power play, just because you get hit from so many angles, is impressive. And then, to get those 2 answered goals, 2 goals that answered the 1 Kraken goal in the first period from Hagel and then Point, very impressive. Braden Point already had 20 goals on the season. Really, really good stuff. So I really think this, again, last game on a West Coast trip, cannot stress how much grit and how impressive this win is from the Lightning.
Yeah, and you got to shout out Jonas Johansson. He's had some issues at the beginning of this year, but he saved the game for the Lightning because Seattle had way too many wide open shots and turnovers and odd man rushes, and he shut down them all. He had 1 unlucky goal, but other than that, he played lights out that entire game, so he really stepped it up. That Jake Gensel power play goal, oh my goodness. Out of midair, dude. I'm gonna glaze him big time for that. I couldn't stop saying his name after I watched that, and I'm just, for the rest of the day, I'm just like, Jake Gensel.
Whoa.
Gensel.
All right.
Give it to me.
You had a great goal tonight, too. So, with Jake Gensel in mind, do you guys still miss Stamkos?
Yes.
I still miss him from his legacy, but I miss him because we could have had Stamkos and Gensel.
I get it.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't even remember Stamkos anymore.
Okay.
Awesome.
We'll put your number in the air one day, but Jake Gensel.
It's not like
on the power play and 5-on-5.
Yeah,
okay,
that's true.
and hindsight's always 20/20, right? Obviously, look at the season Nashville and Stamkos have had. They haven't even won 10 games yet, and we're in December.
That's wild.
Yeah, it is.
Tearing it down sooner than later.
He's coming back
Yeah.
to Tampa, trade.
And you look at how red hot the Lightning have been and how good Gensel's been. So obviously there's some hindsight Like, would I rather have Stamkos over Gensel? No, obviously not. But it would be fun to have Stamkos and add somebody like Gensel when you had the money to do so, and you just have another guy who can score.
Wonder how much cap they have open. Like, we might get somebody.
We could have afforded Stamkos.
I think we have some cap.
Yeah, we're holding the cap for the trade deadline.
No, and JBB is always active at the trade deadline.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting
you got to
see what we
go.
do.
You know, this West Coast trip, we saw a lot of familiar faces. You got to go back to Calgary, save your boy Coleman.
Oh, Blake Coleman.
Get Blake Coleman back. You saw Yanni Gord in Seattle. Get him back. Get these boys to come back.
There was
I wish, man.
Yeah, that would be awesome. But yeah, I do think that I don't know about you guys. I never thought that if it was a one or the other, I was picking Gensel every time.
Yeah.
I really was. I get the legacy, but I was just frustrated we didn't use the cap to keep both of them. But maybe that was a good thing because Stamkos is getting a lot of money for not a lot of production. But if we do get him back I will welcome back with open arms, especially on the power play.
Mm-hmm.
Especially now with our power play, you got that net front presence with Stamkos.
No. Give it to
that would be sick. But yeah, that's your two Lightning games. I think really impressive wins. Again, tonight they won against the Blue Jackets. That's 3 wins in a row. The Tampa Bay Lightning. Let's look just back at their last stretch of games. I mean, that's 4-5 or 4-1 in their last 5. Yeah, and then you go back to Thanksgiving. They're playing pretty solid hockey. So yeah, 4-1 in the last 5. 5-1 will make it in their last 5. So. Really, really impressive stuff from the Lightning. Very hot.
And it feels like Jake Gensel's leading the charge.
Yeah, for sure.
He's got 6 straight goals in 6 games.
Is it 7 now? Or is it 6?
6 or 7. You got another
Leave
one.
It's.
Hold up, I'll look. I have it. 7th. Tonight was the 7th.
That was the 7th. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, that is very, very cool. As we look ahead, the Lightning head back home. They head back home. They will face the St. Louis Blues. Will's boy Jordan Binnington and net. Thursday night,
guy.
7 p.m. And then on Sunday at 5 p.m. Again, scheduled after before the Bucs game.
No, the appetizer.
There we go. Panthers at Lightning Sunday at 5, and then they flip it around. The Lightning go to the.
I hate this
Florida.
crap so much.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it either.
I love it so much.
But yeah, the Lightning will play the Panthers at home on Sunday, and then play the Panthers on the road on Monday. Blues at home on Thursday. I'll start with the predictions. I'll say the Lightning will go 2-1. I don't see them winning both the Panthers game. I'm gonna say they lose the one at home and win the one on the road, and then of course they're beating the Blues. And let me have who should I pick? Let me have Connor Geekie scoring a goal against the Panthers on the road.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think as far as wins and losses, I line up exactly with you. I think 2-1, and give me a Nick Paul goal. I look back to that Oilers game. He had plenty of quality opportunities, and it just wasn't his night. Skinner made some lucky saves. I think he's kind of a bum too. And again, we go back to that one as regulation is expiring. I don't know if that was high sticky to me. I still think that went in, but I think he's due for one. So give me a Nick Paul goal.
I'm gonna go 2-1. We're beating both games against the Panthers though.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. And Ryan McDonagh is gonna give me a goal.
Okay, I like that a lot, man. So yeah, check out your Lightning. Got a couple home games if you want to pop out. I still haven't been to Amalie Arena this year. I want to go. I gotta get to a Lightning game soon.
We need Lightning insiders.
Let's do it. It's been a long.
We need correspondence.
So yeah, Bucs on Sunday, doubleheader. Lightning Bucs on Sunday. Let's see if we can win both games for Tampa Bay. If you guys are here and you guys are interested in college sports, we have TB3U on the channel. Check it out. We talked all things USF Bowl game, Florida Gators Bowl game. We talked the first round of the playoffs. So check that one out. If you guys are here from social media or not here from social media, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. Comment down below. Do you like Will's jersey with the name on the front?
Is this a trend? Like, I know people do it.
Is he repping for the youth, as he said? Do you guys think the Bucs will keep their winning ways going against the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football? What are the Lightning's records going to be? Are the Rays going to be in St. Pete, Tampa, or somewhere else in the future, let us know down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a beautiful and blessed night.